first quarterback in NFL history with 400 yards and an 85% completion percentage in a game, right? So, like, it's not like he threw it 60 times and completed 35. I mean, look, he was masterful. Yes, all right, you don't like to see the fumbles because that was a problem when he was a rookie, and you hope that that's been cleaned up. But they're 4-1. I mean, this was a team going into the season. We're like, how are they going to win games considering the injury situation, considering how many guys they've let? They still don't have their left tackle. They're still thin in the secondary. They're down to their fourth-string running back. The wide receiver they picked in the first round hasn't played yet. He is the sun in the Baltimore Ravens solar system. Everything revolves around him. They love him. They believe in him. They fight for him, and you can tell why. He is a guy that seems determined to do whatever it takes to win, not just in the moment in the game, but in the big picture. What do I need to work on to get better? And you can see the way he's developing as a thrower. Not a quarterback, a thrower. He's already a fully and outstandingly developed quarterback. He was coming into the league. People forget how good he was at Louisville. He's a natural leader. There's nothing not to like. And you tweet something like that and you hear, oh, but what about Justin Herbert? What about Kyler Murray? Yes, all those guys are having great seasons. I don't know who the MVP is going to be. There's 12 more weeks.
Yep.
But right now, if you had to cast a vote right now for MVP of the first 5 weeks, which I know is not an award, I don't know how you can watch him play and think there's anybody who could be more valuable to his team.
I'll tell you something else. He's the best show in the game right now.
Oh, you can't take your eyes off of him.
Absolutely not. It is absolutely mesmerizing to watch the guy play.
I got to get up at 4 a.m, and I'm sitting here looking at the clock like, well, I can't go to bed. I don't know what he's going to do next. I mean, he's bringing him back from, 19 points down. Yeah. Unbelievable.
ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano joining us in studio today, giving us the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Chris Carlin in for Greeny today. All right, Danny, speaking of injuries, you just mentioned a bunch. Boy, the Giants are in a rough situation right now with everybody that they already had sidelined, and now Barkley and Daniel Jones and Andrew Thomas and Kenny Golladay. It just continues to get worse and worse by the day. At this point, even though they may not all be long-term, is this season where it is now salvageable for the Giants?
I mean, it's tough. This was not some great team to begin with, right? I mean, they weren't having a lot of success when guys were healthy, and now this continues to look. I mean, the thing with Saquon, it sounds like he'll miss some time, not necessarily a significant season-ending type of thing. Same with Kenny Golladay, same with Kadarius Toney. We don't know how much time they'll miss, but it doesn't sound like it'll be a ton. Daniel Jones, concussion. Different people progress through the concussion protocol differently. Could he play Sunday? Sure. Might he need a couple weeks? Sure. We don't know. But this is a team that can't afford. I mean, they're still building a roster there. They're still trying to build back to competitiveness, tied with the Jets for the most losses in the league since the start of the 2017 season. It's not a program that's in a good place. And when a team like this that knows it lacks roster depth starts suffering injuries at key positions, things can get bad very quickly, as we saw on Sunday against the Cowboys, who have a much better and much deeper roster.
And they're going to run into a problem here because with Saquon Barkley, they're going to have to make a decision after this season. And it doesn't feel like there's much of a decision to be made right now.
Well, right now, they have the fifth-year option on him for 2022, so they have him through that year. But the question is, what kind of contract extension do you give Saquon Barkley, who's already missed so many games? And it's a problem. I don't know. There's no way they've made up their minds, right? And they have to see how the rest of this season goes. But if he's now going to miss games again, then you have to factor that in when you put a long-term value on it. I don't know what Saquon Barkley would find on the open market if he were to hit the open market after 2022. I don't know what his trade value would be. But again, he's a guy that so far in his time in the league has had a hard time staying healthy. Nobody likes to put that label on a guy, but objectively, he's missed too many games.
Crosstown in New York, Dan, the Jets. Zach Wilson, the way he's playing right now, it feels like the default setting for Zach Wilson is when it's not there, throw it as far as you can and try to make something happen because it worked at BYU, but it's not going to work in the NFL.
No, and people default to what their strengths are, and he can certainly throw the heck out of the ball. Look, this is a project, right? And I don't mean him. The entire Jets thing is a project. The coaching staff is inexperienced, talented, smart, but inexperienced, right? So, and you have a quarterback that you're trying to break in who's young and inexperienced. The people around him are young and inexperienced. So it wasn't going to look pretty for the Jets this year. The question is, what do they find that they can build on going forward? How much better does Zach Wilson look, and how much has he learned by the end of this season so that you spin it into 2022 and you say, yes, we can build on this. Yes, he showed this. Yeah, he showed growth in this area. That's what you want. It's not what fans want to hear because Jets fans are hearing it all the time, but it's unfortunately the fact when you're starting over at coach, at quarterback again like they are.
Two more for Dan Graziano, our ESPN NFL insider. Are the Chiefs in trouble?
I think the Chiefs will be fine because they're run by people who know how to pull out of this. So the defense has shown an ability to get better over the course of the year since Steve Spagnuolo's been there. It's had its rough patches, but has been there in the big games. Patrick Mahomes, you'd put your money on him any day of the week. They have issues. They need to find somebody at wide receiver besides Tyreek Hill, and the defense needs to get healthy if it's going to fix itself. But I do think the Chiefs are a team that knows what to do to get where they need to be.
Okay. Lastly, let's throw a massively irresponsible hypothetical at you.
Oh, boy.
We'll go to Dallas. Cowboys are playing great. Kellen Moore is now becoming a thing again, and you're going to get the sense that he's going to be the next big name as a head coach this coming offseason. So,
I think I know where you're going with this.
Having said that, would Jerry, in order to keep Kellen Moore at the end of the year, depending on how this all plays out, potentially let Mike McCarthy go if the only way to keep him was to make him the head coach? I think depending on how this plays out is really the key phrase there. It allows me to hedge, first of all, but I also think you have to, right? Because we don't. Mike McCarthy takes a lot of hits and he makes a lot of mistakes and all that, but he's also heavily involved in personnel acquisition over the last couple of years, and a lot of that's gone very well for the Cowboys. So you have to give him credit there. Look, I don't know. Kellen Moore is going to be somebody that teams want to talk to for head coach openings if the year continues as it's gone. Obviously, the offense is outstanding, and that leads to head coach openings for coordinators. So, yeah, where are they at the end of the season? Are they Super Bowl champions with Mike McCarthy waving a Lombardi trophy around? Then the answer to your question is going to be no, right? But we have seen teams that weren't in that situation make that move.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.